What's going on, y'all? THEBrandonBrownson here. Before I start this video, I want to start off by saying that I'm going to be touching on kind of a touchy subject here. I'm going to be talking about my religious beliefs. Now, if you're someone who is easily offended by people talking about religion, I suggest you click off this video now. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now that the opinions I'm about to express are mine and mine alone. They do not represent what my audience believes. They do not represent what the other people who have appeared on this channel believe. They are my opinions and mine alone. I'm not trying to force my beliefs down anyone's throats. However, I've been asked by a number of sources for me to discuss my religious beliefs, so I'm doing that now. You have been warned. I'm going to say it now. If you're going to comment, be civil about it. If you troll, or if you try and instigate a flame war, I will block you. With that said, let's get into this. I got a question from, I've been asked this by a number of people, but the guy who finally got me to kind of break and make a video about this is High Def Gaming, and he asked, what are my opinions on religion? Now, this was something I really didn't want to talk about for a really long time, because this isn't a religious channel. It's going to open up a can of worms, I believe, or at least, you know, that was my fear. And at the end of the day, it's something that'll kind of divide my audience, and that's something I don't want. But a lot of people have asked, so I'm going to talk about it. How many times have I said that already? I'm an atheist. I do not believe that there is a God. I do not believe that there is a higher power. I believe that you live, you die, make the most of it now, because that's all you're gonna get. For a long time, I considered myself a spiritual person in that I wasn't sure what I believed, but I thought that something was out there. However, due to a gaggle of life experiences that I'm not going to delve into, I no longer believe this. I believe that this planet is it. As far as my opinions on religion, that's where it gets a little more tricky. I don't think that religion is a bad thing, but at the same time I do. Let me explain. In my opinion, religion at its core is a good thing. Most religions out there try and teach the principles of treat each other well, show respect for one another, show compassion for one another, and don't be a scumbag. That's pretty much the gist of most religious teachings, and that's not a bad thing. But then you add in the human element of it, and that's where things start to get rocky. When people get involved with religions, more times than not, or at least the vocal minority, decides to use their religion as a weapon. Whether you have what some would consider the obvious example with radical Islamics, radical Muslims, the people who fly planes into buildings and go suicide bombing, the example of the hateful Christians who ignore the love thy neighbor stuff and go right for the God hates fags, God hates this, God hates that, therefore we must treat these people as inferior. Or any other radical example. Once you add the human element in, religion is tainted. Religion is not what it is supposed to be. Now don't get me wrong, I know religious people who actually abide by the teachings of their religion and don't use it as a weapon. Also, don't get me wrong, I do not hate religion. I do not hate religious people. If you're a Christian, or if you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're a Wiccan, if you're a pagan, if you're Buddhist, if you're a Taoist, if you're a Satanist, if you're an atheist, I don't care. Whatever you decide to practice is your business and your business alone. However, as I have said a million times before, religion, or lack of religion, is like having a big dick. It's nice to have. Be proud of it. Just don't go trying to cram it down my throat. Don't go waving it around in public. Keep it to yourself. Don't use it as a weapon. Don't cram it down my throat. Don't cram it down the throats of people who don't want it crammed down their throats. Like most things, whether it be politics or what music you listen to, religion is a personal choice. If you respect my beliefs, I'll respect yours. So, High Def Gaming and to everyone else who has been asking me, I hope that answered your question. I tried covering this as non-offensively as possible, so I hope that you're satisfied with my answer. Some of you were probably expecting a really big rant where I was just gonna flame on religion, but at the end of the day, I don't want to open up that can of worms. I really didn't want to talk about this subject to begin with, so I'm hoping that this was satisfactory. Depending on the reaction to this video, I might talk a little bit more about my beliefs or lack thereof in the future, but for right now, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So, High Def Gaming, thank you for leaving your question. If any of you guys have questions that you want me to answer, leave them. I can't guarantee that they're going to be their own video, like this one turned out to be, but if nothing else, I will answer them in an episode of The Brandon Brownson Unscripted. For the time being, The Brandon Brownson, signing out.